The night she buried me alive. My name is Miguel Herrera. I crossed the border of hope with the woman I loved. But in America, the land where dreams breathe, the person I trusted the most tried to bury me alive, with a lie that could have destroyed my entire life. This is how I rose from the grave she dug for me. You never forget the sound of a life collapsing. For me, it was a doorbell. I had just gotten home from the Mexican restaurant in Houston where I worked, still smelling of cilantro and grilled carne asada, when the police knocked. Two officers, hands already on their belts, faces stiff. Are you Miguel Herrera? Yes. Your wife reported an assault, said you raped her. My blood froze. Rape? My mind spun so fast I couldn't breathe. I just walked in. Look, I haven't even removed my shoes. Then explain this. I turned, and the air left my lungs. Lisa stood on the staircase, clothes ripped, mascara streaked like she had been dragged through hell. She wouldn't meet my eyes. She sobbed, trembling. I can't do this anymore, she whispered. He hurts me. I stumbled backward, dizzy. Lisa, what? We haven't even seen each other today. But the police didn't want explanations. They wanted obedience. Get dressed. You're coming with us. Before I continue, please subscribe to my channel to see more interesting stories. Thank you. That night, the city lights blurred as they drove me away. 6 years of love, erased in one lie. And I didn't know it yet, but this was only the beginning of my destruction and my rebirth. At the station, they placed me in a cold room smelling of bleach and metal. The fluorescent lights above hummed like angry bees. A detective slid a form toward me. Tell us what happened. But what do you write when your life no longer makes sense? I explained everything, my shift schedule, my arrival time, the last conversation we had that morning when she kissed me goodbye and said, "We'll be okay, Miguel. We're getting settled, finally." When the officer returned, his expression had changed, more hardened, judgmental. Your wife's statement contradicts yours. She says this has happened multiple times. She's afraid of you. My chest tightened. She's lying, I whispered. He stood. We'll release you for now, but you cannot return home. There will be a restraining order pending. The world became muffled, distant. My home, my daughter, my life, gone in a single fabricated sentence. I stumbled outside the station into the cold Texas night. I sat on the concrete curb, head in my hands, shaking. That was the first time I cried in years, loud, broken sobs that echoed in the empty parking lot. I didn't know that someone was watching me, and she would change everything. Hey, are you okay? I looked up to see a woman standing under the streetlight. Shoulder-length brown hair, soft eyes, carrying a grocery bag. She looked worried, not scared. I wiped my face. I don't have anywhere to go. She hesitated, then sat next to me on the curb. I'm Maria, she said softly. Tell me what happened. And for the first time, I told someone every detail, the police, the ripped clothes, the betrayal that made no sense. She listened without judgment, hands folded, head tilted with genuine compassion. Do you have any friends? Family? Anyone to stay with? I shook my head. It's just been Lisa and my daughter. We came from Mexico together. I followed her here because she wanted a better life. Maria exhaled slowly, as if fighting the urge to be cautious but choosing humanity instead. You can stay at my place tonight, she finally said. I have a spare room. You shouldn't be out here like this. I tried to refuse, but she insisted. Her apartment was small but warm. Safe. She made me tea, gave me a blanket, and said good night. I didn't sleep, because part of me feared the worst. What if Lisa never intended for me to come home? Morning came with sunbeams dancing across the living room floor. I sat at Maria's small kitchen table, inhaling the warmth of fresh coffee. Don't worry, she said gently as she scrambled eggs. One day at a time. She wasn't just offering food. She was offering dignity. Over the next week, I found small ways to contribute. Fixing her sink, painting her balcony railing, helping with groceries. She refused money. I refused being useless. She was a single woman living alone, working at a small local clinic. Kind-hearted but cautious. Still, she trusted me enough to let me stay. But the nights were the hardest. I lay awake haunted by questions. Why would Lisa lie? Why tear her own clothes? Why destroy me? I tried calling her. Texting. Nothing. A month passed. Then 2. Then 3. And still no access to my daughter. No explanation. Nothing but silence from the woman I had crossed a border for. Maria became the only human anchor left in my sinking world. Little did I know, the storm was coming. And this time, it was carrying a knife. It happened on a quiet Sunday afternoon. Maria and I were in the kitchen, slicing vegetables for dinner. The air smelled of garlic and fresh peppers. She was laughing at something I'd said when, bang, bang, bang. The pounding on the door felt violent, desperate. I opened it. Lisa stood there with our daughter in her arms. Her eyes were wild, her hair unkempt. She clutched a kitchen knife, knuckles white with tension. "Miguel," she screamed. "You filthy traitor. You've been hiding with this woman." My heart dropped. My daughter clung to her leg, terrified. "Lisa, stop. Please, give me the knife." But she lunged forward, screaming accusations that made no sense. "You left me. You abandoned your family for this woman." Maria gasped and ran to call 911. Lisa advanced on her. "Murderer," she shrieked. "You stole my husband." Without thinking, I threw myself between them, and pain exploded across my side. Warm blood, a sharp cry, Maria screaming my name. I hit the ground as Lisa dropped the knife, shaking, crying hysterically. Sirens wailed in the distance. It was the second time Lisa tried to destroy my life. But this time she failed, because bleeding on that floor, I discovered the truth, and the truth would become my revenge. I woke up to antiseptic air and beeping monitors. Maria was asleep in the chair beside my bed, mascara smudged, fingers still curled around my hand. A police officer stood at the foot of the bed. "How are you feeling, Mr. Herrera?" "Sore," I croaked. "You're lucky. The knife missed vital organs." Maria woke up with a jump, rushing to my side. "Miguel, thank God." The officer cleared his throat. "We arrested your wife. She's being charged with domestic assault with a deadly weapon, endangering a minor, and violating a protection order." I exhaled slowly, staring at the ceiling. Lisa, the same woman I married barefoot on a beach in Puerto Vallarta, now behind bars for stabbing me. But the officer wasn't done. We also discovered something interesting in her initial statements and hospital records. My brows furrowed. What? She claimed repeated sexual assault, but the medical reports from the night of the alleged incident showed no physical trauma consistent with her story. Not even minor bruising. My heart nearly stopped. So she lied. "Intentionally," he said. "We're reopening the case." That was the moment the seed of revenge sprouted. Not violent revenge. Not petty revenge. But the kind that clears your name, rebuilds your life, and exposes the truth in front of everyone. A poetic justice. 2 weeks later, I stood in Harris County Family Court, bandaged but determined. Lisa appeared in handcuffs, escorted by guards. Her eyes were empty, not angry, vacant. Her lawyer claimed she suffered from mental instability triggered by marital stress. But Maria's statements, the 911 call, and the stab wound said otherwise. My lawyer, paid for by Maria, presented everything. The false rape accusation, the torn clothes, her contradictory statements, the attack with a knife, my daughter's emotional distress. The judge reviewed the evidence with a stern expression. "Mr. Herrera, you are granted temporary full custody of your daughter. Mrs. Herrera is to undergo psychiatric evaluation and may not contact you until further order." Lisa sobbed. For a moment, a shard of pity pierced me. But then I remembered the concrete curb outside the police station. The nights crying myself to sleep. The lies that could have put me in prison. The wars we fight quietly are often the deadliest. And I was ready for mine. When I returned to the house Lisa and I once shared in Pearland, Texas, I expected memories. Instead, I found ruins. Clothes thrown everywhere. Bills unopened. Half-eaten food rotting in the fridge. Walls scribbled with angry notes, some to me, some to herself. I knelt in the living room and pressed my palm to the floor. "Mihija," I whispered to my sleeping daughter, "we will rebuild this." Maria helped me clean. She scrubbed floors. She repainted rooms. She turned chaos into a home again. One afternoon, while washing dishes together, she said softly, "You didn't deserve any of this, Miguel. Lisa wasn't well, but she hurt you on purpose." I swallowed hard. What if I never get answers? "You will," she whispered. "Truth always leaks through cracks." And she was right. Because while sorting through Lisa's things, I found something that changed everything. The phone was old. An iPhone 8 hidden beneath winter clothes in a suitcase. Curiosity tugged at me. I charged it. When it turned on, my heart froze. Messages. Hundreds of them. From a contact saved as DM. They weren't romantic. No, they were worse. They were strategic. Messages like, you need to stick to the story. Tear the clothes before calling 911. If he's out of the picture, you get the visa renewed faster. The custody case will be easy. Remember, emotional tears work better than physical ones. My hands trembled. Lisa didn't act alone. Someone coached her. Someone planned this. Someone wanted me erased. But who the hell was DM? Maria looked over my shoulder, eyes widening. Miguel, this was never about you. Not just betrayal. Conspiracy. I scrolled deeper. Videos. Voice notes. A call recording. Lisa's voice. Shaky, fearful. And a man's voice, calm, manipulative, guiding her like a puppet. You want residency, right? Then follow the plan. You'll get custody. You'll get benefits. He's dead weight anyway. My chest tightened. Residency? Custody? Benefits? Lisa never told me she applied for anything alone. But then Maria zoomed in on the texts. D.A.M. Miguel, what if those are initials? I nodded slowly. Or a workplace title. And then it clicked. DM. Dr. Aaron Michaels. Her supervisor at the hospital. A man she once described as too friendly. My stomach churned. The man who wrote her work schedule. The man she worked double shifts for. The man who controlled her immigration recommendation letter. He manipulated her. Or maybe they manipulated each other. But one thing was clear. This man tried to destroy me from the shadows. And he had no idea. I was coming for him. Days after discovering the messages, I sat alone in my living room, staring at the evidence spread on the table. The phone, the screenshots, the voice recordings. Lisa's betrayal hurt. But this was calculated. Maria approached quietly. What will you do? I looked at her, voice steady. I'm going to expose them. All of them. She nodded, but her eyes reflected fear. Be smart. This man is a doctor. He has influence. I know. But he also made one mistake. What? He underestimated a man with nothing left to lose. That night, I held my daughter as she slept, her tiny breath warming my chest. She didn't know the war happening around her. She didn't know her father was rebuilding himself from ashes. I whispered into her hair, one day, mi amor, you'll know the truth. And you'll be proud of me. Outside, thunder rolled across the Houston sky. It sounded like destiny clearing its throat. I walked into Memorial Heights Medical Center the next morning with a confidence I didn't feel. Nurses moved like coordinated shadows. The smell of disinfectant carried memories of Lisa's long shifts, her exhaustion, her secrecy. I approached the reception desk. I need to speak with Dr. Aaron Michaels. Do you have an appointment? The receptionist asked pleasantly. No, but he'll want to see me. She hesitated, then called his office. Name, she asked. Miguel Herrera. Her eyes flickered with recognition, then caution. Have a seat. Minutes later, Dr. Michaels approached, wearing a cold, professional smile. Tall, silver-rimmed glasses, trimmed beard. He looked exactly like the type who thought he could play God. Miguel, he said smoothly. I didn't expect to see you. Likewise, I replied. He led me to a private room. The moment the door closed, the smile vanished. What do you want? I pulled out the phone. To return something. It was hidden in my house. He stiffened. You should be careful, he said softly. False accusations can make your life worse. I leaned forward. Oh, doctor. I'm not the one in danger. His jaw tightened. I walked out before he could respond. But I knew one thing. He was scared. And fear makes powerful men stupid. 2 days later, I noticed it. A black SUV parked across the street. Same model. Same tinted windows. Always the same spot. At first, I thought I was imagining things. Trauma can trick your senses. But on the third day, when I walked my daughter to daycare, the SUV followed at a slow distance. My stomach nodded. I messaged Maria. Someone is watching me. Moments later, she replied. Come to my place. Now. When I arrived, she was pacing. This is getting dangerous, Miguel. We need help. Police? I asked. She shook her head. Not yet. We need proof. That night, I stared at my window, watching the SUV idle under the streetlight. The doctor wasn't just scared. He was desperate. Because he knew the truth could destroy him and ruin every letter he'd ever signed. But I had something he didn't. Time. And a reason to fight. We sat on her couch eating leftover pasta when Maria suddenly put her fork down. Miguel, I need to tell you something. Her voice trembled. My heart thumped uneasily. She took a shaky breath. I knew Lisa. My fork froze midair. What? Not personally, she said quickly. But I saw her before. She came to the clinic I worked at once. She was crying, saying she felt pressured by someone at the hospital. She didn't say who, but she kept repeating, he promised me everything. He said he'd help me. My chest tightened. Why didn't you tell me sooner? I didn't connect it until now. When I saw the text from D.A.M., it clicked. She whispered, Miguel, I think she was manipulated more than you realize. I breathed deeply, torn between rage and pity. Was Lisa evil? Or weak? Or both? Maria touched my hand. Whatever the truth is, you deserve justice. And so does your daughter. I nodded. This wasn't just revenge. This was a mission to reclaim my life. I went to a lawyer recommended by Maria's colleague. His name was Mr. Stevenson, an older man with sharp eyes that saw through everything. After reviewing the evidence, he leaned back in his leather chair. Miguel, this doctor is finished. I blinked. What do you mean? Michaels coached your wife to make a false accusation. That's conspiracy, obstruction of justice, witness tampering, immigration fraud, a lot of prison time. I swallowed. And Lisa? Her mental state complicates things, but she will face consequences. I exhaled slowly. Mr. Stevenson continued, voice firm. If we take this to the medical board with the audio files, his license will be suspended within days. It hit me. The man who tried to destroy my life. I could now destroy his career. Not with lies. Not with violence. But with truth. Poetic justice. Stevenson smiled. Are you ready? I nodded. Yes. But I wasn't prepared for the next bombshell. The court scheduled another hearing, this time regarding Lisa's mental state and parental rights. When I walked into the courtroom, she sat hunched at the table. Her once fierce eyes were dull, swollen, lost. Her hair was messy. Her hands trembled uncontrollably. She looked broken. Her lawyer whispered frantically, but she didn't respond. I felt a sharp pain in my chest. This wasn't the woman who stabbed me. This was someone drowning. The judge reviewed the psychiatrist's report. Mrs. Herrera exhibits symptoms of emotional dependency, manipulation vulnerability, clinical anxiety, and delusional thinking. She acted under psychological coercion. My jaw clenched. Coercion, a polite word for being controlled. When it was my turn to speak, the judge asked, Mr. Herrera, do you wish to press criminal charges against your wife for the stabbing incident? Silence weighed on me. I looked at Lisa's trembling form. She was guilty, but she was also a victim. Finally, I said quietly, No, Your Honor. My priority is my daughter. I won't pursue charges. Gasps whispered around the room. The judge nodded approvingly. But someone didn't approve. Dr. Michaels, standing far in the back, stiffened, jaw clenched. He needed Lisa punished. Because if she wasn't the villain, he was. And he knew it. 2 days later, the Texas Medical Board received a neatly compiled package. Screenshots, transcripts, call recordings, the timeline, legal statements. All tied together with one chilling truth. Dr. Aaron Michaels manipulated a married immigrant woman into framing her husband. Stevenson copied me on the email. It felt like dropping a match in a forest of dry leaves. Within hours, the board acknowledged receipt. An investigation was opened. His hospital was notified. His license was placed under emergency review. Maria hugged me tightly. Miguel, this is it. This is the beginning of his downfall. But revenge is never clean. And he wasn't ready to fall. The next morning, I found a letter taped to my door. Cease and desist. Signed by Dr. Michaels' lawyer. He accused me of defamation, evidence tampering, harassment. I laughed bitterly. Harassment? The man who stalked me with an SUV? I took the paper to Stevenson. He read it, then tore it in half. He's panicking. Good. That means he's losing. But the doctor wasn't done. That evening, while I played on the floor with my daughter, my phone buzzed. A message from an unknown number. Stop before I make you disappear. A chill crawled up my spine. I showed Maria. Miguel, you need to be careful. I held my daughter tighter. No, he needs to be afraid. Because I had one more card to play. And it was the deadliest. Stevenson managed to track down someone unexpected. A nurse who previously worked under Dr. Michaels. Her name was Angela Carter. and she agreed to meet at a cafe outside Houston. She looked anxious, constantly checking the door. "Dr. Michaels is dangerous," she whispered. "He's covered up mistakes, manipulated patient reports, bullied nurses, and Lisa wasn't the first woman he pressured." My blood ran cold. "He ruins people," she continued. "Everyone is too scared to speak. But I heard what happened to you, and I'm done being silent." She handed me a flash drive. "What's this?" I asked. "Proof. Everything I've collected over 5 years." Maria nearly dropped her coffee. Angela leaned forward. "Bring him down, Miguel. Not just for you, but for everyone whose life he touched." I walked out of the cafe trembling. This wasn't just revenge anymore. This was justice. For all of us. The media got the story before I expected. A local Houston journalist published an article titled, "Hospital Under Investigation. Doctor Accused of Manipulating Patient into False Crime Allegation." I didn't give an interview. Someone leaked the medical board notice. But the moment the article dropped, everything exploded. Hospital staff spoke out anonymously. Former patients shared horror stories. The board suspended him pending investigation. The SUV disappeared from my street. Lisa's lawyer requested a private meeting. Dr. Michael's empire, built on fear, was burning. Maria hugged me from behind as I stared at the article on my phone. "You're almost there," she whispered. But I shook my head. "No, not yet." Because poetic justice is never rushed. It waits for the perfect strike. And that strike was coming. Lisa requested a private meeting through her lawyer. Part of me didn't want to see her again, but closure is a powerful thing. The meeting was held in a quiet conference room downtown. She walked in slowly, thinner, eyes swollen, her hands trembling with every step. "Miguel," her voice cracked. "I'm so sorry. I didn't speak." She wiped her tears with shaking fingers. "I didn't know what I was doing. I was scared, lost, and he kept telling me you were holding me back, that you dragged me down, that you didn't deserve to stay in this country." I clenched my jaw. "So you accuse me of rape?" I asked quietly. Lisa collapsed into the chair. "He said it would guarantee papers for me and our daughter. He said he would protect me. He said he loved me." My stomach twisted. Love. The most dangerous lie. I leaned forward. "Lisa, did he force you?" Her eyes fluttered downward. Shame poured out of her. "He controlled me. He knew about my immigration fears. He knew about my anxiety. He threatened to report me. He said if I didn't help him, he would destroy me." I inhaled sharply. "Miguel, he used me. And I let him. I ruined your life. And I'll never forgive myself." For the first time in a long time, I saw the woman I married, not perfect, but human. But forgiveness would take time. And justice still needed to fall. The hearing was set for a windy Friday morning in Austin. The Texas Medical Board conference hall buzzed with reporters, hospital representatives, and staff who once feared speaking Dr. Michael's name. But today, they came to watch him fall. He walked in looking nothing like the confident man I met at the hospital weeks ago. His hair was messy, his suit wrinkled, his eyes hollow. He knew. He felt the noose tightening. The panel called witnesses. Angela, the brave nurse. 2 former patients with documented negligence cases. A staff member anonymously testifying via video call. A legal expert explaining coercion and manipulation. When it was my turn, I stepped forward, throat tight, hands cold. "Miguel," the chairwoman said gently. "Tell us what happened." I described everything, from the night the police arrested me to the evidence Maria found, the hidden phone, the SUV, the threats. Every word cracked through the silence. Dr. Michaels glared at me with pure hatred. He knew the truth was no longer containable. Then the board played the audio recording. His voice filled the room. "You know what to do? Cry. Scream. Tear the clothes. He'll be out of the picture soon." Gasps echoed. Even the panel members looked shaken. For the first time, I saw something break inside him. Not anger, not fear, but defeat. 3 days later, the results dropped. His medical license, revoked. Permanent ban from practicing medicine in the U.S. Formal criminal investigation launched. Possible charges: coercion, conspiracy, obstruction, witness tampering, medical malpractice, immigration fraud. News outlets devoured the story. His face was everywhere. The disgraced doctor. The manipulator. The predator. His wife. Yes, he had a wife. Filed for divorce. His children reportedly refused to see him. His hospital removed his name from every directory. Everything he built collapsed. But karma wasn't finished. One night, Maria received a phone call from a police department in another county. She put it on speaker. "Is this Miguel Herrera's residence?" an officer asked. "Yes," I said. "We are informing you that Dr. Aaron Michaels was arrested tonight while attempting to flee the state." I froze. For possession of falsified medical records, destruction of evidence, and violation of a restraining order. Maria covered her mouth. Lisa cried when she heard. But not out of pity, out of release. The chain around her neck was gone, and justice had only begun. Months passed. Slowly, life found rhythm again. My daughter laughed louder. Maria's home became a place of healing. I started a new job at a better restaurant, climbing into management. Lisa began therapy through a court-approved program. She wasn't perfect, but I saw true effort. She wanted to be a mother again, to rebuild her identity from the rubble. One evening, while I cooked with Maria, she touched my arm. "You know you saved more people than you realize." I shook my head. "I just defended myself." "No," she whispered. "You exposed a monster." Some nights, I still replayed it all. The police lights, the tears, the betrayal. But then I looked at my daughter sleeping peacefully and realized. Pain didn't define me. What I did with it did. Maria smiled softly at me. "What's next for you, Miguel?" I finally had an answer. "Peace. And maybe love." Her breath caught, eyes softening. "Yes," she whispered. "You deserve both." For the first time in years, I felt whole. But the world had one final gift for me. I was closing my new restaurant late one evening. Yes, my own restaurant, when my manager walked in with a letter. "Looks official," he said. I opened it slowly. It was from the court. Inside was a statement. Financial restitution granted. All tied to Dr. Michael's criminal charges. Then I saw the amount. My knees nearly buckled. Enough money to pay for my restaurant expansion, my daughter's college fund, a home Maria and I had been dreaming of. My lawyer explained everything over the phone. "Miguel, it's poetic justice. The same man who tried to destroy your life is now legally required to rebuild it." Tears filled my eyes. Not from victory, from relief, from survival, from the universe finally balancing the scales. I walked outside into the warm Houston night, the city lights glowing like blessings. Maria stepped beside me, slipping her hand into mine. "You did it," she whispered. "No," I replied softly. "We did." In that moment, I looked at the world, at my restored peace, my daughter's safety, my future, and I felt the final truth settle into my heart. Sometimes your enemy digs the grave so deeply, they fall into it themselves. And that is the sweetest revenge. I survived betrayal, manipulation, injustice, and heartbreak. But I emerged stronger. If you're watching this, let my story remind you. Your pain can become your power. Your silence can become your weapon. And your truth can set you free. Thank you for listening to my story. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share my videos. Thank you.